One August night around midnight, in the middle of a work week, a tremendous ruckus outside my bedroom window woke me up. Angry at my sleep being interrupted, I peered out the window to see a pack of dogs following a single red chow-chow. I cursed the unknown chow's people under my breath, assuming they hadn't gotten their dog spayed, and then tried to get back to sleep as the noisy pack continued down the middle of the street. Well, later that month, on a pre-dawn Wednesday, a few minutes before 3 a.m., my eyes flew open, anticipating the regular ring of the alarm clock. Hitting the off button to avoid the loud buzzing that could catapult me out of a pleasantly dreamy reverie, I lay still in my cozy bed, listening intently to a distant sound I knew I'd heard before but couldn't quite identify. It seemed to be coming from the other side of the house, maybe the porch. As I focused my attention, I suddenly realized what it was, the muffled sound of snoring. Alarmed, I arose quietly, tiptoeing toward the front door to investigate, but the snoring stopped just as my feet touched the floor. For the next 2 weeks, the same sound would wake me up before dawn and then stop as soon as I turned off the alarm or got out of bed. I telephoned my mother to tell her about these weird happenings, and she was puzzled too. "That's very strange," she said. "Do you feel you're in any kind of danger?" I assured her I didn't think so, but the possibility of an unwanted stranger making himself at home on my porch did make me uneasy. At least another 2 weeks went by before I heard the sound again, but there it was in the early morning hours, unmistakable snoring. The minute the alarm went off or my feet touched the floor, the sound immediately stopped. About the same time, I started noticing a mangy, rust-colored dog at the Grange Hall across the street watching me when I left for work. She started showing up every morning, keeping at least 50 feet between us at all times. Obviously a chow with her perky, bear-like ears, she had sprigs of hair poking out here and there and the trademark black tongue. Her fur was matted with big clumps missing, and she scratched constantly. She looked exhausted. The difficulty of her situation began to invade my thoughts, though, and after about a week, her pitiful, drooping appearance finally got to me. So I bought 2 cheeseburgers on the way home from work and left them on the porch of the Grange Hall. As I drove my car through the parking lot, I spotted the chow hiding in the bushes. After moving the cheeseburgers a little closer to her on the dirt, I got back in my car to watch. She was motionless. I drove home, parked my car, and went inside to my front window. The cheeseburgers stayed untouched. I walked across the street and opened the food up to further entice her with the smell, but she stayed hidden. I went back home and watched out the window to see if the skittish stray would venture out. I waited a long time, finally giving up my window seat and resolving to check on her periodically instead. But the chow waited until dark before she stealthily sneaked up on those burgers and devoured them. A few people knew anything about the wild red dog when I inquired around the neighborhood. "Oh, I feed her sometimes," one soft-hearted animal lover told me. "Some people say her master was taken away to a convalescent home by ambulance. You know, chows are one-person dogs, and I'm sure she was reluctant to let anyone else take her." Well, plenty of people had tried. After contacting several animal rescue agencies, I learned that a number of workers had attempted to trap her, using food to try to lure her into different enclosures. But she was extremely wary and had eluded animal services officers for 2 years.